Maxima De La Rosa's been a loyal David Jones employee for more than 4 years, but now she believes the retail giant isn't being loyal to her.
I'm really frustrated at the moment because every time they need me to be available, I was available. I feel like I have the right to know more of why I'm not eligible to get the JobKeeper when others of my colleagues are actually getting it. So it feels like unfair.
The department store chain has told Maxima she's not eligible for JobKeeper because she took a leave of absence to visit family overseas last year.
I was away for between 10 to 12 weeks, but that's normal because I've been doing that for the whole time that I'm there. So that's my right to take some breaks to see my parents or my family.
Under the JobKeeper rules, to qualify for the $1,500 a fortnight payment, casuals must have been with their employer for at least 12 months, working on a regular and systematic basis. But it lets employers decide what regular and systematic means.
So the idea of regular and systematic employment is that you have to be engaged on a planned basis rather than work happening sporadically or occasionally.
David Jones is taking a tough stance, telling Maxima in an email that her holiday means she's not a regular casual, and it's applying the same interpretation of the rules to staff across the company. Have you tried to get more answers out of them?
Yeah, I tried, but then I've been getting emails from my team, from the company, and saying the same thing to me, just with different words. I'm just getting the same answer.
David Jones declined an interview but said in a statement that it's tried to get as many casuals as possible onto JobKeeper, and it's consulting with the tax office on eligibility.
So many casuals are reaching out to us and telling us that their employer is not opting them into JobKeeper because they're claiming that they are not regular and systematic casuals.
Union Legal Service, the Young Workers Centre, believes employers are taking a hard line to save money, but also to limit their obligations to casuals once the JobKeeper scheme ends.
That's when workers have got positive outcomes. We are now seeing this across the retail industry. We think that they're worried about setting a precedence where these workers can then say, well, in fact, am I a permanent staff member? And if so, they should be entitled to things like sick leave and annual leave.
When Cotton On took a similar view on JobKeeper, it said it was acting on the advice of the Australian Retailers Association. The industry group has declined an interview but says its advice to members has been based on the legislation and case law.
It's quite clear that you can have some breaks from your job and still say that the work there is regular and systematic. But how long the breaks can be, not clear.
Employment law experts say just because you take a break from work, that doesn't mean you're not a regular and systematic employee.
We've had cases in the past where employees have taken quite lengthy overseas holidays with the concurrence of their employer, and that hasn't stopped them from claiming regular and systematic employment because it's always understood that they were coming back. This is just one of a number of issues on which there just isn't enough guidance in the rules surrounding the JobKeeper scheme.
I'm willing to work. I sort of don't really like the feeling of sitting at home and doing nothing. So I think that's the whole point of the scheme, to get people back to work.
For 5 years, Wendy Ibrahim has worked at General Pants Co., another big name retailer that's denying JobKeeper to staff who've taken a break in the past year.
The 9 weeks out of the 52, they said that I didn't work. Obviously, about 4 or 5 of them, I took a holiday, which was obviously approved by management, and I came back and, did my regular shifts from there. And then the other 4 or 5, it could be university exams, but it also could be that I just didn't receive a shift that week. I'm a casual, so I'm not guaranteed a shift every single week.
The most frustrating part for Wendy now is that even though General Pants Co. has reopened, she's not getting any shifts.
All I know is that the full-timers are back and that the casuals that are on JobKeeper are receiving shifts.
Why is that, do you think?
It's obviously because they are getting paid by the government, and if they wanted to, get me in, they would have to pay me out of their own pocket. Well, that wouldn't be the case if I was just on JobKeeper in the first place.
General Pants declined an interview about Wendy and other staff who've spoken to 730, but in a statement says it has diligently applied the JobKeeper rules. The government says workers who think their employer is unfairly excluding them from JobKeeper should talk to the tax office. But Wendy says she's had no luck getting help.
I've gone to the ATO obviously first, and they referred me to Fair Work. I put in a dispute form with Fair Work, and they go back to me and told me we can't deal with anything in regards to JobKeeper until you are on JobKeeper.
What concerns me is that there is a massive issue about the eligibility of casual employees and a big issue about how disputes get resolved if employees think they're eligible and employers disagree. The government could and should, in my view, have amended the rules to address those issues.
Workers left out in the cold want to see JobKeeper extended to cover all casuals.
I'm sure more people would love to go back to work and be included on the scheme.
Maxima De La Rosa and her husband are about to have their first baby, so now she's preparing for an extended break from work. But she can't walk away until David Jones explains why it's taking such a hard line on JobKeeper.
As I'm a fighter, I won't give up. I will keep fighting for my right.
Hi, I'm Lee Sales. Thanks for watching this story. If you'd like to watch more of 730's stories, they are on the left of your screen. And tap on the button below to subscribe and get the latest from ABC News.